guys, welcome back to this crochet Brontosaurus stuffed animal tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn how to make the legs and the tail of the Brontosaurus, and then we're going to assemble everything. So let's go ahead and make the legs. I'm going to show you how to make it once, and then you can keep watching that part over and over if you need to end up making all four. I've already made 3 of them, so I'm just going to show you it one time. To start, you need to make a magic ring. If you don't like doing magic rings, you don't know how to, or you're using a thicker yarn, some plush yarns it's hard to use a magic ring with, you can chain 2 and then you'll single crochet into that first chain. And into that chain or into your magic ring, you're going to single crochet 6. Then you're going to tighten it to make sure that hole is all the way closed. For row 2 of your leg, you're going to do an increase in every stitch so that you will end with 12 stitches. If you don't remember, an increase just means you do 2 single crochets into each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For row 3, you're going to do an increase and then 2 single crochets, and you'll end with a total of 16 stitches. So increase, 1, 2 single crochets, increase, 1, 2 single crochets, increase, 1, 2 single crochets, increase, and 1, 2 single crochets. For row 4, you're going to do 1 single crochet in the back loop only. So, as you can see, there's a V in each stitch. So you're going to go only in that back loop. So you're going to go between them and through that back loop like that. And you're going to do each stitch like that for a total of 16. And to finish your legs, you're just going to do 3 rows of single crochets. So each row will have 16 crochets, and you're going to do it in both loops. So we're not doing in back loops only anymore. You're doing normal single crochets for 3 rows. So that's my first row of single crochets. I'm going to finish it off camera and then come back when I'm done. Okay, so I just finished that leg. I'm just going to do a slip stitch, chain 1, and then cut a tail long enough to sew my leg on. And that is all you have to do. You just have to do that 4 times, and that'll make your legs. You can make your legs longer if you want, just by adding more rows of single crochet. I kind of like the stubby legs on this dinosaur because it's a bit more of a chubby dinosaur, so I like the legs. You can also make the legs wider by just making a bigger circle on the bottom before you do these next steps. So you could make 18 or even 24 if you really wanted on the bottom. Now that's a bit more advanced, so if you're still newer to crocheting stuffed animals, I just stick to the pattern, but over time, as you learn how to do those kinds of things, you can always change up these legs really easy to make them your preference. Now it is time to make the last piece of our dinosaur, and that is the tail. So I am going to make a magic ring. Like I said, you can chain 2 and do it into the first chain if that's easier for you. And I'm going to single crochet 6 into the ring. For the second row, we're going to do the same thing and single crochet 6 around. So just 1 single crochet into each stitch. Because we're not increasing, it will automatically curl. You want to make sure that it's curling outwards and not in towards you. For row 3, we're going to do a pattern of single crochet increase, and we're going to do it 3 times, and we'll have a total of 9 stitches when we're done. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then an increase. For row 4, we're going to do 9 single crochets, so just 1 single crochet into each stitch. Now I'm going to take this string that's sticking out and kind of poke it down so it's not in my way anymore. And then for row 5, we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase, and we will have a total of 12. So 1, 2, increase, and you're going to do this pattern 3 times. 1, 2, increase, and then last time, okay, for row 6, we're just going to do 12 single crochets. For row 7, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase, and we'll do that 6 times, and we'll have a total of 18 stitches. For row 8, we're going to do 18 single crochets around. Then row 9, we are going to start using a new stitch halfway on like half of it. So we're going to start with 6 single crochets. And then you are going to do 7 half double crochets. So if you don't know what a half double crochet is, you just wrap the yarn around your hook and then do what you normally do for a single crochet, and you pull through all 3 instead of just 2. After that, you're going to do 5 single crochets to finish that row. For row 10, you're going to do a pattern of 2 single crochets and then an increase all the way around to get a total of 24 stitches. Row 11 is our last row, and it's going to start with 8 slip stitches. So you just go in, and instead of yarning over and pulling through, you're just taking that and pulling straight through all the way. And then you're going to single crochet 1, and then you're going to do you're going to do 6 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to single crochet 1, and then to finish you're going to do 8 more slip stitches. And then to finish off, you'll just do 1 more slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut. Make sure you leave a long enough tail for sewing. Pull it to tighten it, and there's your tail. The part with the half double crochets is what we will sew on the top of the body. So the tail kind of goes down, and then we'll be able to add this little curve to it. Okay guys, it is finally time to sew on all the pieces. I'm going to start with the legs. I don't really have an exact way I do this. I base it off of where the middle is, and I go at the very edge of the middle, and I go over one spot. I find a spot up here to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and then I pull through right there. You can use, if you have pins, you can pin them in place to where you like them. I just kind of eyeball it and do the best I can. The thing I focus on the most when I do this is making it look even, and the tail is like the most important part in my opinion on making sure it's between the legs evenly. But like, I look at this, they both kind of line up with the same part of the neck, and then I count 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's kind of, let's see, I think I want to go have this be on the outside. As you can see, my sewing process is very random. I should make the string on this leg longer. I'm going to finish sewing on these front ones, and then I'm going to show you guys how I place my back ones. So I've sewn on both the front legs. This one still needs finished, but the string on this one wasn't long enough. So now to sew on the back ones, my goal is going to be that the ends of them line up right here, and that they are pretty lined up with the legs that are in front of them. So like this one, I know is going to go, maybe it'll go a little in front of that, about right there. And then the other one will go about right there. So I'm going to sew those on. I'll show you that once I'm done. Okay, I have finished putting on all the legs. And now it is time to do the tail. So the tail, your yarn should be right in the middle of the bottom of it automatically when you finish it. So what I do is first I decide how high I want my tail. Do you want a tail that's up top? Do you want one that's kind of in the middle? Do you want one that goes down below? I like more closer to the bottom, maybe a little middle-ish. So I kind of pick that spot. And so I know I want it right there, right here between the legs. And so I'm just going to get my needle in, and then I'm going to go straight up, as centered as I can. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to put this up here, and then I'm going to do that. Make sure it's as centered as I can get it. So when you go, and how you know it's the middle on the top is there should be 6 half double crochets, and so really the middle is right between these 2 half double crochets right there. So that's how I know I'm in the middle, and then I'm just gonna sew that on. So then I just have to close both the sides, and it should be pretty centered automatically, and that's it. So now I just sew on this tail. Okay, so I just finished getting the tail. I only stuff the large part of the tail. I leave this part pretty empty so that I can bend it like that, because I like that look. And now all that's left is adding the eyes on here. So I'm going to go grab some black yarn, and then I'm going to sew on the eyes. I know my assembly instructions are not the best, but I'm not a sewer. I'm a crocheter, so when I sew, it's really me just winging it a lot of the time. So that's how I show you guys. But I'm gonna go grab some black for the eyes. Okay, so I just sewed on the eyes. I still have to tie the string. But I sewed the eyes on row 15. I put the eyes, and I just line them up with the back of the part that I sewed. So that part I sewed, the back of that oval is what I kind of line them up with on, what row did I say? 15. That's right. So this is what it looks like. I take the yarn and I wrap it around 4 times. Or you can double up your yarn and wrap it around twice, which is what I actually did this time. And then I just try to make them look as similar as I can on each side. And now I'm just going to tie this in a knot so they don't come undone. Cut this and then tuck all these ends into the dinosaur, and then it'll be done, and I'll show you after I tuck those ends in. But yeah, that's my dinosaur. If you want, of course, you can move the eyes down or up a little depending on what you like. And like I said, there are some things you can kind of change about this pattern if you want. You can make the legs longer if you want. You can make them shorter. You can move the eyes up and down, back and forth. You can add a mouth. I'm also thinking about making spots, putting spots on them, and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought about this pattern. This is a more difficult pattern than the other 2 patterns I've shared. It's definitely a longer one, so you will have to be a bit more of an advanced crocheter. But I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Okay guys, I know I said goodbye, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like from that. I gotta cover the fan from, like, if you're looking at me. This is the dinosaur. I feel like it's hard to show you when I'm just showing the table, but this is it. Yeah, this is probably the hardest pattern, one of the hardest patterns I've made. I have freehanded a motorcycle. That one was pretty hard, but for animals, a dinosaur is a little tricky. There are things about it, shapes that are weird, that make you have to crochet in weird ways. I am hoping eventually I learn how to make patterns with, I like the long belly, and I really wanted to make this a no-sew pattern for the legs. You'd still have to sew on the tail, but for the legs, but I could not for the life of me figure it out. So that is one of my goals I'm going to try to do, and remake a dinosaur pattern within the next year or 2. It will be a while from now. I need a break from making dinosaur patterns. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thanks if you stuck around all the way through it. Bye guys.